Hello everyone, hello lovely students, welcome back to this video session. Hope you all are doing great in your life. My name is Ashwant and I'm from India, which happens to be a very awesome, wonderful country. And today I have got a really exciting math lesson for you all. Want to know what's that? Then please don't skip and make sure to stay with me all around till the end. Here we go. So we have 9x squared minus 4x minus 13 and we have to factorize this. Now before we get into factorizing this, I would like you all to recall what factorization actually means. Let's say we have a number 15 and someone asks you to factorize this. You say 15 is equals to 3 into 5, right? So in the process of factorizing a number, we are actually expressing a bigger number as a product of smaller numbers. Now to my lovely friends, I would like to say you all, the same logic goes for algebraic expressions as well, wherein we actually factorize a bigger and a complicated algebraic expression of higher degree as a product of a smaller and lighter algebraic expressions of lower degree. Here, E of x represents algebraic expression of higher degree and P1x and P2x represents algebraic expression of lower degree in the factorized form. Now I hope you all are familiar with the term degree, which is actually the highest power of variable in the expression. Like for linear expression that looks somewhat like ax plus b, we have degree as 1. For quadratic expression that looks somewhat like ax square plus bx plus c, we have degree as 2. And for cubic expression that looks somewhat like ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, we have degree as 3. And we have got some other algebraic expressions of higher degree as well. But for this class, we're going to talk about factorization of a quadratic expression using middle term splitting method. And to some of you, it might sound a little strange who have come across this for the first time. But my dear friends, I promise, if you stay with me till the end, you're going to definitely love it. So a quadratic looks somewhat like ax square plus bx plus c. And we have to make sure that the terms of quadratic are in the descending power of the variable. Like in this case, we have the variable x. So we must have x squared as the first term, then x as the second, and the constant as the last. Now let's understand how the middle term splitting method actually works for our quadratic. So we have our quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's take the leftmost and the rightmost term and multiply them. So if we multiply ax squared and c, we get acx square, right? Now we will split this product into two parts. We'll split this product into two parts in such a way that if we multiply these splitted parts, we again get back acx square, and if we add these splitted parts, then we get the middle term of our quadratic, bx. That's why we name this method as middle term splitting method. Well, this will become more clear if we solve our original question. So we have 9x squared minus 4x minus 13. First of all, we'll make sure that the terms are written in the descending power of the variable, which is okay here because x squared has to be the first term and x has to be second and constant should be the last one, which is fine here. Now, let's take the leftmost term and the rightmost term. So leftmost term is 9x squared and the rightmost term is minus 13. And let's multiply them, which is actually the working rule of middle term splitting method. So we get minus 117x squared. Now with the help of this minus 117x squared, we'll find the splitted parts. Now it is advisable most of the times to visualize the product in its original expanded form, because that will help you to easily find the splitted parts. Like in this case, I can feel minus 13x and 9x. If you take minus 13x and 9x as the splitted parts, and if you multiply, you again get back minus 117x squared. And if you add these splitted parts, you get minus 4x, which is actually the middle term, right? So this is the most crucial step in the middle term splitting method of factorizing a quadratic. Now let's solve it further. So for minus 4x, I can now write minus 13x plus 9x, right? And minus 13 at the last. Now we can take x common from the first two terms. If we take x common, we are left with 9x minus 13 in the bracket. For the second two terms, nothing can be taken common, so 1 can always be taken common. So we take 1 common from the last two terms, we get 9x minus 13. Now, from these two terms, we can take 9x minus 13 common. If we take 9x minus 13 common, we are left with x plus 1, and finally, we have factorized our expression, right? So our quadratic 9x squared minus 4x minus 13, we have factorized it as a product of two linear expressions. The first one is 9x minus 13 and the second one is x plus 1. Let's take one more example for understanding this middle term splitting method in a much better way. Let's say we have a quadratic x squared plus 3 root 3x minus 30 and we have to factorize this. Okay, so first of all, make sure that the terms are written in the descending power of the variable, which is okay here. We have x squared at the first, then we have x and then the constant at the last. Now the working rule says you have to take the leftmost and the rightmost term and you have to multiply it. So we'll take x squared and minus 30. When we multiply, we get minus 30x squared. Now we will split the product minus 30x squared into two parts in such a way that if we multiply these splitted parts, we again get back minus 30x squared. And if we add these splitted parts, we must get the middle term of the quadratic, which is actually 3 root 3x. So I can feel here, if I take 5 root 3x and minus 2 root 3x. Now if you multiply, you can guess this by practice. You must be knowing that practice makes a man perfect. This is how we all become perfect. So I was able to guess this. You can also, if you practice a lot. So 5 root 3x and minus 2 root 3x. If you multiply these two splitted parts, you will get minus 30x squared. And if you add these two splitted parts, you get 3 root 3x. So it is the very and the crucial working rule of middle term splitting method. You have to always check both the constraints. Like you have to multiply, you must get minus 30x squared, and you have to add the splitted parts and you must get the middle term, right? Now let's get back to our solving area. So now we have x squared plus, now in place of 3 root 3, we have to write 5 root 3x and minus 2 root 3x with a minus 30. Now from the first two terms, we can take x common. So we're left with x plus 5 root 3. And from the last two terms, what I can see here, I can take minus 2 root 3 common. So if I take minus 2 root 3 common, I'm left with x plus 5 root 3. And always, if you have not made any calculation mistake, both the factors like this one and this one will always be identical. I again repeat, if you have not made any error in your previous steps, you are going to get the same factors. Okay, now from these two terms, we can take x plus 5 root 3 common. So if we take x plus 5 root 3 common, we are left with x minus 2 root 3, which is our other linear factor. So we have actually factorized the given quadratic as a product of two linear factors. That's all. So this was all about today's session, and I did my best to make you all feel comfortable and happy. If you like this video, then please share it to your friends and loved ones, and make sure to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notification of my next upcoming videos. See you all, my lovely friends, in my next upcoming videos with more exciting and awesome questions. Till then, bye bye, stay safe and have a nice day.